We are live from Mount Prospect Ice Arena for the SHL Game of the Week on YouTube Live. Good evening, everybody, and welcome into this semifinal Game 2 between Loyola Academy and the St. Viator Lions. Alongside Wes Anderson on ice level and Taylor Ramel to my left, I am Max Anderson. Welcome into the broadcast here tonight where Taylor, after last night, an instant classic game between these two teams, went to double overtime. Quick turnaround here 24 hours later for the Lions.
You said it and wouldn't have it any other way. Loyola got out to an early 3-0 lead yesterday before Viator made an epic comeback. Not one overtime, but two. It was a late evening for these guys. Loyola came out on top. Viator facing a do-or-die tonight.
Viator with the do-or-die situation, and for more on how they're going to approach this Game 2, where they've got to extend this series to a Game 3, we're going to send it down to Wes Anderson, who's standing by with St. Viator head coach Tim Benz. Wes.
Thanks, Max. I'm here with the head coach. Coach, you guys are coming off a double OT loss. How do you look to respond so quick?
We look to, lose no steam. We want to jump on them right away. I think the longer we wait to jump on things, the worse it'll be for us. So we're going to come after them hard. We're going to come after them fast. We're going to be physical right from puck drop.
You found yourself down 3-0 in that game. You guys were able to battle back. What'd you like in that third period that you guys did?
Oh, I mean, the effort was great. It was a two-shot game when you simplify it like that, right? And it's playoff hockey. Good things happen when you get things to the net. You got guys, senior leaders working hard to lead the charge, and that's kind of what happened in the third, and it was great to see.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Yep.
Max, Taylor, back up to you guys.
Thank you, Wes. And Wes will be hanging out down between the benches all game long for us, bringing us all the sights and sounds from ice level. But Taylor, a message from Tim Benz, very pleased with the way his team battled, the way they fought back, of course, coming back down 3-0. Of course, heartbreaking anytime you lose in double overtime, no less to the number 2 team in the state. Big challenge for them here tonight to force a Game 3.
Yeah, it absolutely is, but this Viator team can get it done. They have a ton of talent. We've seen them a few times this year. Obviously, we know who Loyola is. They've lost one game in their last 15. That was coming to New Trier a few weeks back. They've been on fire. So Viator, a tall task in front of them tonight, and you heard Coach Tim Benz talk about it. They need a physical, fast start. The moment the puck drops, they need to attack Loyola immediately. A quick goal or two will be enormous for the St. Viator Lions.
On the Loyola side, the All-State, All-SHL first team, Jack Gustafson, having a big playoff thus far in just 3 games for Loyola. He's got 4 goals and an assist, including 2 goals in the game winner last night, Taylor. He is a difference maker for the White Sweaters.
Yeah, he absolutely is. He led the Scholastic Hockey League in points this season. 1 of 4 belonging to the Loyola Academy Ramblers in the top 10 in SHL scoring. All being forwards, 1 actually in the top 15, a defenseman, the only defenseman also belonging to Loyola. An embarrassment of rich talent on this Loyola roster.
So we're going to step aside here in just a moment. We'll have starting lineup introductions as well as our national anthem live from Mount Prospect Ice Arena here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome these riders and county football heads to join soloist Wayne Westland with his rendition of our national anthem. Oh, sing and you'll see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright
So with starting lineups and our national anthem out of the way, we're circling in on puck drop. Taylor, certainly one thing to keep an eye on in this game. Both teams with a power play goal last night, but specifically one matchup to watch. Loyola, number 3 in the SHL on their power play, a lot of offensive weapons. St. Viator down on the list, 7th on the penalty kill. Be key for them tonight to stay out of the box.
Not only that, Max, but throughout the regular season, St. Viator was the most penalized team in the league with 450 penalty minutes, whereas Loyola, the second least penalized team in the Scholastic League, right around, I think it's 237 on the whole season. So Viator finds themselves with a man in the box almost twice as often as Loyola. That would be doom for them tonight.
So we've got one scratch on the St. Viator side. PJ Hennigan. He's having himself a nice postseason. He's got 3 goals and an assist so far for St. Viator in these playoffs. He is out tonight with an injury. In comes number 25, Connor Jones, for the Lions. So it'll be interesting to see where St. Viator is able to pick up that scoring effort as Grady and Manerick will take the opening draw. And it's won by St. Viator immediately into the Loyola zone. Ryan Cowan to play. Taylor, nice turnout here on Sunday evening. We've got a pretty packed stands here at Mount Prospect Ice Arena's North Rink, if you're familiar with the facility. As we have a whistle just 12 seconds into the game, but for Sunday evening, lining the boards, full stands, great crowd we have here tonight.
Absolutely right. Student sections showed out for both schools. We're 2 or 3 deep. Over on the St. Viator side, the home rink here, of course. Fun atmosphere.
So we're going to get a neutral zone face-off. It'll be Grady and Manerick again. Just 12 seconds into the game. Tied up eventually. It's Angelo Massaro, brother of starting netminder tonight, Michael Massaro. Your Schmidt starting goaltenders are Michael Massaro for the St. Viator Lions. Him and Dominic Grimaldi been kind of switching off here in the playoffs. St. Viator hasn't settled in on one netminder yet. Loyola the same way. Kieran O'Brien getting the start tonight after Braden Haney had a 38 save performance last night against these Lions.
Some fresh legs there, right? I mean, 5 periods of hockey saw over 40 shots. That's a long night in net. Back-to-back games. They trust both goaltenders. Get a fresh set of legs in between the pipes.
And dropping this deep, you'll look to certainly see a simplified game from St. Viator tonight. I think it would be understandable. They've played a lot of hockey over the last 6 days, and they're just going to try to keep things simple. Get the puck deep. You've already seen it a couple times as Albrighton's not able to keep this in at the point. And it'll be carried out by Dylan Harrer. He skates along the near boards. Harrer to the middle of the ice. Now Hoffman trailing the play, and Kieran O'Brien gets his first test in net. Right into his chest, the LA logo, and we'll take a face-off draw.
Great rink-wide pass through the slot for Hoffman. I don't think Hoffman was expecting it to reach his stick. It went through a little bit of traffic, so he almost fumbled over it on an initial shot attempt. Was able to get the second one off. However, an easy save right into the stomach.
15:42 left here in the first period. Offensive zone draw for St. Viator goes into the corner. Charlie Fritchie to try to dig it out. Wright's pestering him the entire way. Now pinching down and keeping it in is Jake Nealing. Wright throwing his body around, trying to clear Albrighton. Good backhanded pass to Neary, but the active stick from Fritchie knocks it free, and in transition comes Gustafson. The game 1 hero, I should say, Jack Gustafson, getting his first ice time here. Now a stretch pass, trying to get it. Pestering the entire way is Braden Mueller, trying to pry it free, but eventually Ryan Cowan settles. And Fritchie up the far boards, intercepted at center ice, and again, just dropping it deep is St. Viator. Dump and chase game early from the Lions, Taylor.
Max, I think Gavin Wright definitely listened to his head coach Tim Ben's message before the game. Start with physicality. I think he had 3 hits that shift.
Now centering pass up top, Sam Rohde. Rohde's shot never got all the way through, deflected. Side of the net. Back up top from Gustafson, but it hit a skate on its way, so St. Viator's going to be able to come in transition. Here's with speed comes Charlie Hoffman. Drops it in behind O'Neill and Hoffman, trying to set up some possession, trying to get it between the circles where Harrer was waiting for it. Instead, back to the point. Here's a shot blocked by Malinek and cleared by Loyola. That's going to be our first icing of the game. Want to thank our great sponsors here on the SHL Network. CCTY Bearing, Christopher Burke Engineering, Stormy's Tavern and Grill, GLASA, the Great Lakes Adaptive Sports Association, York Hockey, Loyola Hockey, Wintrust Bank, Lake Forest Bank and Trust, a Wintrust Community Bank, Kramer Construction, Brian C. Mueller of Edward Jones Financial Advisory, and Schmidt Goaltending. Visit schmidtgoaltending.com and get 25% off your first private lesson when you tell them the SHL Network sent you.
Good start for St. Viator so far. A number of shots on net. They've controlled a little bit of the pace of play. Aggressive forechecking. We've seen some good hits. Loyola already with an icing. We're only a few minutes in, so the game plan going well so far for Viator. Come out aggressive right from the start.
Connor Taylor's able to win the draw, gets it back to his defenseman. Great stick work by Bain as he's going to set up a 2-on-1. It's Jobert coming up the slot, but steered off the puck as he entered the zone by Jack Kuffel. Now puck bouncing and eventually gets all the way to Massaro, and see a little bit of a tap of the pads there from Cole Jobert. St. Viator making sure he knows he can't do that too frequently. 13:48 left here in the first.
Massaro with a save percentage of around 900 throughout the regular season. He has ticked his play up a notch here for the playoffs. 941 save percentage in his 3 games started. So some really good goaltending numbers for Viator's Massaro.
Both these schools with the luxury of really 2 great options in net. Now looking for a 2-on-1 opportunity, but Fritchie closes it quickly. His stick's getting completely held. That should be a penalty. We're not going to see one here early. It should have been a penalty on Massaro, but he gets away with it. We'll stay 5-on-5 with 13:30 to go.
Max, I believe Fenwick has the ice sheet after this, so there's a number of Fenwick players in their warm-up suits in the corner. About half of them raised their arm up, trying to suggest to the officials that that was a penalty.
If I had to guess, that was a similar message down there on the bench where Wes Anderson's hanging out on the Lions bench. They were up in arms as well, looking for that same penalty. Having a little bit of technical issues tonight with our sideline mics, so if you don't hear as much of Wes Anderson as you normally do, that'll be the reason why. A lot of interference. Here's a shot from Boersma into the chest of Massaro, and he squeezes it, but a lot of interference here, so he's not able to hear us as well as he normally is, but he'll still chime in just when he can. We appreciate Wes down on a nice level.
Max, I got word that the other playoff series, Game 1, just concluded. New Trier coming out with a victory over GBS 5-2. They outshot GBS 56-15.
Wow. We've seen GBS. Here's a shot blocked away by O'Brien right towards us. Now a turnover, able to keep it in the zone was Gavin Wright. Lillybridge coming the other way. Gives to Schreiber. Schreiber's shot just misses the net. That wrist shot had some good pace on it. Just high and wide of the net. Now a stick goes flying. That was a stick of Schreiber, and he's still locked up behind the play with, that's Ty Schaefer he was locked up with. They come back up the ice. St. Viator still trying to clear the zone. Finally able to. That's Mueller who drops it deep. He's going to head to the bench for a change. Fresh off the bench. Carson Hart trying to find the puck here in the Loyola zone. Now it's Gabal having a little bit of trouble in his own zone, handling the puck.
This is an aggressive forecheck. I mean, they're sending 2 guys on every puck in the Loyola zone.
They're clearly, Taylor, trying to find that first goal. I think they understand they can get out ahead in this game. It's a very different dynamic. Already trailing 1-0 in the series. I think if they were to go down early, especially after just a brutal ending to that game for the St. Viator Lions.
So Loyola here, they swept the Glenbrook North Spartans. St. Viator with a 3-game series. It took all 3 for St. Viator to get here. Game 3 win over York High School, knocking York out. And as we mentioned, the other series going on this week is New Trier Green, who's really turned it on as the season has progressed, and GBS, their foe. GBS, a very solid team. Coach Philbin winning the Coach of the Year in the state of Illinois.
Taylor, to finish the thought you mentioned in the huge shot disparity in that game one. We've seen that from GBS at times. Saw that in game one against Stevenson where they got badly outshot, I believe, by more than 2-1. They came back, won 2 straight games, won that series, and outshot them in all of them. Here's a shot from Kadlec, blocked into the netting by Paul Carney.
That's heads-up hockey from Carney. That's selfless. I mean, this is playoff time. You sacrifice your body. He does a nice job of dropping down to one knee. The less shots Massaro has to see, the easier his night, right? You don't want to make your goalie's night hard.
10:54 left here in the first period. It's actually been St. Viator, Taylor, I'd say, with a little bit more control in the offensive zone, but neither team has found the back of the net. In game one, it was a really impressive 39 save performance from Grimaldi. He made Loyola earn it. Now Joe Bear with a check in the corner, trying to pry it loose, finally comes to right. He's going to go hard off the boards and clear. I believe that hit the linesman, or probably would have been icing. Break for St. Viator. Now Patrick Neary with the puck. Gives to Mueller. Now loose, still in the high slot, side of the net. Trying to follow it up is Taylor. And eventually taken away by Joe Bear, and he's just going to take an icing.
Down here, it's getting pretty chippy. I'm fighting through a little technical difficulties, but we've seen already Viator come out, be very physical. One right in front of me almost got hit with the stick, and then again on the near side boards there, you guys, and they're really setting the pace today, really getting after this Loyola offense.
Yeah, Wes, I think that was what we expected. We expected to see St. Viator come out with their hair on fire. I think that's what we've seen. Here's a shot, good block by Ryan Cowan. It's can they sustain it? They played a ton of hockey over the last 6 days. And we'll certainly look as we get to the latter part of the second period and certainly into the third period as sandwiches Grady, and he goes down to the ice. He took a huge hit from 2 Lions. He's still shaking his head as he comes up the ice.
Glad to see Grady's okay. I mean, he went down and held his head for a second, jumped back up into the play. One of 5 Loyola Ramblers selected to the Illinois All-State team. Just an embarrassment of talent on this Loyola roster. 5 guys, and that's going to be a penalty. I mean, that's clear. That's a check from behind. If not a cross check, Wenzel will go to the box for St. Viator at the 9:26 mark.
And that's the type of penalty, Taylor, that you just can't afford if you're St. Viator. Not sure if Jimmy's got a replay of that. Actually, I was down looking at the icing, but Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, it was away from the puck. Wenzel kind of came in and cross-checked right in the lower spine. I wasn't able to catch the jersey number for the Ramblers, but I mean, very, very clear cut. I mean, you could call it interference, you could call it cross-check. I mean, it certainly wasn't against the boards, so there wouldn't be a boarding or hit from behind, but just a cross-check right in the small of the back. That feels real good.
Now a face-off on the power play. We mentioned one of the keys to this game was going to be Loyola's penalty, or I should say power play against St. Viator's penalty kill. That's where Loyola seems to have the biggest special teams advantage. Can they cash in here with 9:09 left in the first period? Gustafson, he whiffs. Now Raiden Mueller's got a breakaway opportunity. He goes backhand, big save O'Brien. Now in transition, Lillibridge gives to Gustafson. He's got Grady coming up the slot. He drags his stick, cross ice. I don't think Grady was expecting that cross ice pass. Big windup from Lillibridge. He's checked as he got rid of it and cleared by the Lions.
What a save, Kieran O'Brien. That is the type of thing that keeps your team alive. Oh my goodness, on a breakaway attempt too.
And this by Loyola, that's going to be an icing on the power play, and something me and Dylan Ward talk about all the time on the broadcast. The 2 things you absolutely cannot do when you're on the power play, Taylor, is ice the puck or go off sides. It's an absolute momentum killer when you got the man advantage.
And I absolutely adore Max too. I'm not sure if you were seeing it there, but I adore what Tim Benz is doing already in this penalty kill. He's keeping 2 forecheckers up in the play, rotating with each other. So the first man in will try to push the play to the left side of the ice or the right side for the second guy then to come in and try to take away the puck. Right, push the play Gavin Wright pushed the play to the left side of the ice, and then you saw Mueller come in, clean that up, and get the breakaway opportunity there. So a great, perfectly executed penalty kill.
That's a great call, Taylor. And we saw in Game 2 that St. Viator had against York, they had a shorthanded goal. They're one of those teams who don't just go into a complete shell on the penalty kill. They look to take advantage of opportunities when they're presented. This puck chipped in deep with 40 seconds left on the power play for Loyola. Comes back to Fritchie at the point. Fritchie's going to drop it down to the near side half boards, and digging it out is Bain. Harrer trying to clear it. Instead, Fritchie back at the point. Calling for it far side is Schreiber. He tried to go across ice, got deflected. Gabal at the blue line, able to keep it in. Now 20 seconds left and cleared by the Lions all the way down ice to O'Brien. Here's Fritchie.
St. Viator still doing a solid job through the neutral zone. They're not giving Loyola a ton of space.
Boersma with the shot. Lillybridge back door. Couldn't handle it in time. Back to full strength for the Lions. Shot from Lillybridge. Gloved by Massaro and then knocked out. We're going to get a whistle. Taylor, they're going to...
I think the net came off. So both teams coming into this game playing some great hockey. Loyola, 14 wins in their last 15 games. A lone loss, as we mentioned, coming to New Trier Green just a few weeks ago, where we were able to provide the broadcast for those of you watching from home. But Loyola playing their best hockey at the most important time of the year. State playoffs begin for both these teams here this week. As a matter of fact, Max, all of the top 7 teams in the SHL all had a bye for the first 2 weeks of the state playoffs. That tells you a little bit about the talent level here in the Scholastic Hockey League. 7 of the top 8 teams that were given byes in the state of Illinois playoffs were Scholastic Hockey League teams. The lone outlier being St. Ignatius, a really, really solid Catholic League program here in the Chicagoland area.
We got a chance to see them yesterday advance to the Kennedy Cup Finals. Here's Grady as he skates into the slot, comes to Cowan. Now back to Grady. He'll swing it across to Rhodey. Top of the circle, looks, fires below the goal line. He's looking to get it out in front. Big shot from Sharfstein, turning it aside Massaro. Puck still loose in the crease, and we get a whistle.
And the net was knocked off its moorings too, so a little pushing and shoving, but the officials will go over, and they're going to probably bring a little water bottle over. That's the second time in as many shifts we've seen that net get knocked off its moorings.
Taylor, you talk about St. Ignatius, really probably the pride of the CCHL. Bennett would certainly have something to say with that. But they're going to duke it out here coming up in the Kennedy Cup Final. We'll have some of that on our CCHL network, fitting it all in between the CCHL and the SHL. Of course, bringing you great high school hockey here from the state of Illinois. Wherever you may be watching, we appreciate you tuning in here tonight.
Can't escape us. Scholastic League, Catholic League, can't escape us.
As Albrighton drops this puck into behind the goal, and it's fallen on by Michael Massaro.
Interesting to watch here, Max, as we dip towards the end of the first and into the second period, the line matching that's going to go on. These guys, I mean, this is the 5th time these two teams have played each other this season. Loyola winning all 4. Some a little closer than others, 2-1, then some 4-1, 4-3. But these two teams know each other, so they're able to line match. Both coaches familiar with the opposing schemes.
Yeah, Taylor, you talked about 4-1 back in October. It was a 2-1 game in December, and then just a couple of weeks ago, a 4-3 win for Loyola, and then, of course, the
4-3 last night.
Instant classic last night. Here's Raiden Mueller. He's backhanded. He scores! Raiden Mueller gets a step on the Loyola defense, and he finishes it with the backhand. It's 1-0 St. Viator, excuse me.
Hopefully we can get a little replay of that, but for those of you watching that were old enough to watch Peter Forsberg play the game of hockey, a beautifully executed dipsy doodle where he leaves the backhand, slipping it in on the far pad side like Peter Forsberg did for years in a Colorado Avalanche sweater. A beautiful move by St. Viator's Mueller.
Raiden Mueller goes bounding into his bench where he's mobbed by his entire team, and the start St. Viator was looking for, they got here. So with 5:39 left in the first period, it's 1-0, the Lions lead. Now looking for the response of the Ramblers. Big shift here after the goal. It's Bain, Jobert, and Baker. Here's a shot from Jobert, goes just over the crossbar. Chasing it down, but able to clear the Lions. Back to Sam Rohde at his own blue line.
A huge hit in the far side corner. The entire St. Viator coaching staff up in arms shouting at the officials. No call on the play.
They also wanted to make sure that there would be an icing there, as that pass from Rohde missed his intended target around center ice. Every call, every whistle this Lions team is locked in on. They want to force a Game 3, Taylor, which, by the way, folks, if there is a Game 3 of the series, it is to be determined. Originally, it was supposed to be this coming Wednesday. Both teams agree that is just too tight to their state tournament game. So we're working on the schedule. Stay tuned to the SHL Network on Instagram, on Twitter, and, of course, the ScholasticHockeyLeague.org for more updates. Here's Hoffman below the goal line, trying to get a centering pass to O'Neill. Now O'Neill in the corner, trying to get it back to the point. He does. That's Schaefer trying to get back to O'Neill, but Malinek steps in front of that and able to clear the zone. Coming right back to the Lions. O'Neill, he lowers his shoulder and he puts it into Kadlik's chest. Turning and shooting was O'Neill. Taylor, saw you pointing. There was, I believe that was Jake Kneeling, who looked like he was coming up from his point spot. I think you were eyeing that as a potential backdoor opportunity for O'Neill.
Yeah, Kneeling pinching in from the far side blue line. He was trying to sneak towards the net. None of the Ramblers picked him up. If O'Neill was able to see him, and I don't think he was, he had his back turned and two white sweaters in his face, but if he saw it, would have been a really good opportunity for Viator there.
Now 4:18 left here in the first period. Lions are able to break out. Back to play it is Kadlik. Plays it back to center ice where Schaefer's going to settle on his line change finish and fire it in. Taylor, we haven't done a game on this rink in several months.
It's been a little while.
I don't believe I did the one we did do on this rink. But the boards are bouncing today. They are certainly have some give to them. That's going to be a penalty against Loyola for a hooking penalty. And it'll be a man advantage coming for St. Viator. So I'll look at it there as it'll be Jack Gustafson with 2 minutes in the box. So a big moment here in the game where if St. Viator can find a second goal here early on the power play, Taylor, it'll be not only
huge,
the ideal start
colossal
for the Lions,
yeah,
but changes the entire dynamic of the game.
It absolutely does. It would be enormous if you're a St. Viator faithful.
So Van Erich able to get it across to Reed Mueller. Oh, and a little bit of miscommunication there as Patrick Neary's pass goes back out into the neutral zone. Puck now dropped in, goes all the way around the boards and back out with 1:30 left to go here on the power play. And 3:20 in the period.
Massaro playing that puck nicely for his defender. Coming way out of the net.
Winding up, shooting well wide of the net. But following up is Massaro. He'll leave it for Neary. Neary circles, gets it across to Mueller, who winds up. He was looking for a hot pass, got deflected into the corner. Now Manerick right back to Mueller. He looks, he shoots, deflects, scores! Patrick Neary in front of the net, gets the deflection, and it's 2-0 St. Viator.
Unbelievable. At the 1 minute mark of the power play, a shot deep from Mueller, deflected in front by Neary. None of the Ramblers doing their job of clearing out the net front for their goaltender.
You're seeing the shot from Mueller. He tried to do that twice in a row.
I mean, Neary is just setting up shop. He's basically pitched the camp. He has a nice little fire set up. He's cooking some food. Nobody's getting him out of the front of Kieran O'Brien. I mean, that's unacceptable. If you're running the defense for Loyola, your defensemen have to clear the front. Give your goaltender a lane to see the puck. That's just inexcusable.
2:43 left here in the period, and a power play goal for St. Viator, whose power play 4th in the SHL, so certainly a good one. Another big hit behind the play. St. Viator wants a penalty, and they're going to get one. That's going to be Max Cabal going to the box for 2 minutes. But we've seen an ideal start thus far as St. Viator's going to head back to the power play, and West down there on the bench. It's an absolute mob scene.
And you can see,
guys, the vibe down here is pretty positive on the St. Viator bench. Coaches were saying if they got the second goal, they would be cooking. The bench has been electric all night, and they're going to go back on the power play here.
and on the Ramblers sideline, DJ LeVar pacing up and down his bench. He had some choice words for the staff and some of the players. He is not happy with the way his Ramblers are playing. Back-to-back penalties. They look uninspired, and Viator is taking it to him.
Yeah, you could see with Viator with their backs against the wall. Now the referee's going to come in and settle things down. Like to see that, Taylor, here in a game two. No reason for coincidentals there. Just settle the guys down. Let's play hockey.
I agree, Max, and I haven't disagreed with any of the calls so far tonight. Usually I am the anti-officiating crew guy, but I've agreed with all the calls tonight.
So for Patrick Neary, that's his 3rd point and 2nd goal of these playoffs. This is an important part of the depth scoring for St. Viator. Plays on all teams as this goes too far for icing. So we've now seen it twice, Taylor. Those Cardinal sins on the power play of offsides and icing.
Yep. You talk about Neary, you're absolutely right, depth scoring, but he can provide a ton. 19 points on the season. He's very strong in his own zone. He can play both ways. A huge piece for St. Viator, coming up very clutch to put them up 2-0 early over Loyola.
Now 1:24 left on the power play. That will take most of the rest of the first period unless St. Viator is able to find a 3rd goal. It was Loyola that went up 3-0 yesterday, and it was the Lions that came back and tied that game before, of course, we've talked about it at length here, the crazy overtime finish. If you haven't seen that final goal, check out the SHL Network on Instagram. We got a shot of it from Live Barn, just a brilliant play from Garrett Grady, and it was Gustafson that ended up finishing it. Now battling in the corner, eventually Nutley coming away with it. He'll carry it. Now it's point-blank stuff attempt. Still has the puck, turns, fires, big save by Kieran O'Brien. As he's trying to keep his team in it, going down 3-0 with against a team like St. Viator is a super tall hill to climb.
Yeah, it is. However, on that last play, you saw Nutley make some really nice individual personal plays in the corner. Great effort to get the puck into the slot. He elected to shoot the rebound he gave himself. Instead, Angelo Mazzaro was sitting at the back door, wide open. Nutley did not see him, but that would have been likely 3-0 for St. Viator. Nonetheless, a great individual effort there.
Now cross ice, Manerick winds up off the post. What a pass cross ice. And Manerick draws iron. Here's Reed Mueller looking for Manerick. One-timer, kind of a softball shot. Still battling. We're going to get a penalty.
Yep.
And it's going to go against St. Viator. Now Cowan and Neary behind the play are jabbing at each other. It's going to be right. I thought he got pushed into O'Brien.
I did too. Maybe we're going to be able to get that on the replay here. I don't think he purposefully.
Oh, you know what? He did.
Yeah.
That is a good call. He kind of
agree.
put his shoulder down and just kind of bowled over O'Brien. So we'll have 16 seconds of 4-on-4 here before Loyola gets a chance on the power play. It'll be their second opportunity. So Gavin Wright heads to the box for St. Viator. .47 seconds remain here in the first period. Offensive zone draw is going to come to the left of Massaro. Face-off won by the Lions, and 4-on-4, a little bit of pond hockey. Taylor, your favorite?
Yeah, open the ice up a bit.
Here's Lillibridge and Cowan. They'll look to just control the puck, get the extra man on the ice. Hart doing a good job of stopping Cowan at the, Gustafson at the blue line. Now Grady will try to enter the zone. 27 seconds of power play to finish this period. Loyola's unable to score. They'll have about a minute 15 on the power play to start the second. Now 18 seconds to go. Gustafson just misses the stick of Boersma. That's offsides with 14.2 to go. Neutral zone face-off. Grady just stuffs it into the zone and rifling it to clear down ice are the Lions. And a whistle as the linesman's not paying attention. St. Viator was on the penalty kill. So at the very least, we're going to get an offensive zone draw for St. Viator off the errant whistle, but St. Viator was kind of assuming that that would end the period on that clearance. I don't know if Loyola's going to have to hustle up ice.
The official did not realize it wasn't still 4-on-4.
I think at the end of the day here, this may end up working out better for St. Viator. If they can win a clean faceoff, they might get a chance at the end of the period.
Yeah. I'd have liked to see them slide a defenseman a little closer so you could get a shot, but it doesn't matter. They did not win the draw.
Gustafson at the end of the period. Massaro falls on it, but that will be it for the first period. After one, a period controlled by the St. Viator Lions, responding here in Game 2 after a tough Game 1.
Yep, they really dictated tempo really from the start. I mean, Wes was able to give us a great little sideline bit with St. Viator head coach Tim Benz, and one of the things he mentioned was a quick physical start and getting that first goal, and they have done that flawlessly.
Well, we'll take a quick timeout, catch our breath, and come back with second period action just a couple of moments right here on your home for SHL Hockey YouTube Live. Welcome back to second period action here from Mount Prospect Ice Arena. Alongside Wes Anderson down on bench level and Taylor Ramel to my left. I am Max Anderson with the SHL Network crew here for Game 2 of this semifinal between Loyola and St. Viator. A crazy Game 1. We're here into Game 2 where St. Viator's backed up against the wall, Taylor, and as far as what St. Viator could have been hoping for that first period went just about as well as they could have hoped.
Yep, no question about it. They looked fantastic in all facets, on the penalty kill, on the power play. And on 5-on-5, they've really brought it to the Ramblers early. Beneficiaries of a pair of goals, has them up early.
Now we'll switch ends of the ice. Michael Massaro down here in front of us. We're familiar with the North Rink at Mount Prospect Ice Arena. There's two big platforms as we look at the ice. We're on the one on the left, so you're very close to the St. Viator end as Loyola's got 46 seconds left on this power play. Now Gustafson drops to Boersma. Gustafson gets it right back. He skates towards the slot, tries to go wide to Grady. It's intercepted by Mueller. It's going to be a 2-on-1 for St. Viator. Braden Mueller skating, Ryan Cowan trying to cut it off. Looking for a rebound, O'Neill not able to finish, and a great save from COB. 25 seconds left to go on the power play. Gustafson drops to Lillibridge. Grady cross ice. Again, Carson Hart steps in front. and St. Viator able to clear. Taylor, Loyola trying these very crisp passes, or tight window passes, I should say. And St. Viator keeps getting their sticks and lanes. You wonder at some point Loyola's just got to get pucks on net and get a little bit dirty.
Yeah, they have to start getting net front presence, and they have to start, you're right, getting the pucks on the net, right? We see them being a little fancy at the top of the zone. That's not going to do it. We've seen from the very first puck drop how aggressive St. Viator is being with their forwards. They're keeping them high. They're running 2 up the middle. You can't do that, not with the way that they're playing. And it's almost gotten Loyola in back-to-back 2-on-1s coming the other way.
3 seconds left here on the power play. And then just like that, an unsuccessful power play number 2 for the Ramblers. Schaefer tries to chip it past Baker, but he pins his body against the wall to make sure it stays in. Schaefer's going to try to ring it around the boards, finds Nutley just shy of the blue line, and he's able to force it out. And Fritchie back for Loyola to lead the rush. He goes wide. Baker tries to play it on, but right to the stick of Schaefer. Now Fritchie is Manerick throwing his body around. The big body of number 91 in blue for St. Viator. So Nutley still pressuring. Now Connor Jones getting the start in place of Hennigan. Trying to create here for the 4th line of St. Viator. Now Baker trying to pry it loose, but the Lions just not letting it out easy for Loyola. Taylor, they're making him earn it out of the zone right now.
They're being aggressive with that forecheck. We've seen it all game.
Now fresh on the ice is Malinik. He can't handle it right at the blue line. Lays it on to Schreiber. Schreiber between a couple of guys, still has it, tries a shot right into the chest of Massaro, and then Schreiber with a terrible penalty as he is going to get called for a slashing as he rifled Kneeling's stick. I believe it hit the roof. He rifled it so high.
Yeah, Kneeling and Schreiber kind of just getting tied up a little bit behind the net. A love tap ends up sending the stick careening up into the ceiling. Yeah, and it was right in front of the official too. I mean,
you just can't do that if you're Will Schreiber. I mean, that is a full chop from his stick. Yep. Not going to hurt anybody.
I mean, I think that hit the scaffolding.
I believe it did. Great camera work. Patrick Loftus on the camera duty today.
You need better than that. Better than Schreiber from one of your senior leaders. That's just a selfish. It's a selfish, unneeded penalty.
So St. Viator with a huge opportunity here, already up 2-0. Looking to find that 3rd goal. Take complete control of this game. Manerick center of the ice, his shot deflected off the stick of Lillybridge, so we'll stay right down in the Loyola end for this face-off draw. .15 left here in the 2nd period. 1:41 remaining on the power play. Face-off won by the Lions. Gets back to Manerick. He'll drop down below to O'Neill. Now back up top, Manerick. He's looking for a shooting angle. He'll just hold the puck. A lot of contact right in front of the net. Arms are staying down from the referees for now. Back up top at the point, Manerick. And finally, we're going to get a whistle. Again, that same goal down to our right, Taylor off its posts. And the St. Viator faithful not happy. Fairness, it's the same goal that they knocked off the post twice there in the first period as well.
Right, I'm not sure they can throw rocks on this one. However, get a water bottle, spray it a little bit.
Guys, I'm down here on the Loyola bench. Scott Sorrell, head coach, obviously wasn't too happy with the start, but he's asking his team to go to the 2nd level, go that extra gear that they know they have to get this thing tied up.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm expecting here to see in the 2nd period, Taylor. I'm expecting to see Loyola push back. Obviously, it doesn't help being down a man, but I think we talked about getting a little bit more into the dirty areas, winning some board battles, getting positioning in front, making life a little bit more difficult for Massaro, who has kept Loyola scoreless to this point and hasn't exactly been challenged, I would say, the way you would expect from Loyola.
I agree completely. I mean, usually with the talent that they have, they can attack in droves and they can get goals from all up and down the roster. They've looked somewhat unenthusiastic. Like they're not jumping at the steps that we normally see Loyola.
It's a little bit surprising, Taylor. You know, in the back of your head, you might be thinking, well, they're up 1-0. If they lose, they're still a game 3. But the way the calendar's starting to fall, finish that thought in just a moment, is St. Viator getting a nice cycle side angle shot, stuff attempt, and frozen. But as the way the calendar's falling, the SHL championship is going to end up being sandwiched between some state finals game. Every game, extra game that you have to play at this time of year matters. And if you're Loyola, it's not just, well, there's game 3. There's a huge advantage if they can find a way to win here tonight and get to the SHL championship without having to go to a game 3.
Unquestionably. I mean, not only do you get a little bit more rest, we've talked about it already on this broadcast, Viator's played 6 games in a little over a week. You know, conversely, Loyola, they've been playing a ton of hockey too, and they're about to head into the state playoffs. So the least amount, or the less games you can play, the better for not only for legs, but injuries too. I mean, God forbid at this time of the year lose any of your players.
Here's Massaro, gets a shot deflected from Fritchie. Mueller can't keep it in at the point. Now 2-on-1, here comes Loyola, and just losing it off his stick was Baker, or else they would have had a chance shorthanded. Now Wright battling, eventually Monerick coming away with it with 32 seconds to go here on the power play.
Wright winning that battle. Gavin Wright battling Loyola's Baker. Just beat him twice.
And Loyola's going to be able to clear this. Massaro to play it behind his goal. 12:53 to go here in the second period. Taylor trying to catch Loyola in a change, but Rhodey checks him off the puck. Jones, backhanded pass. Huge collision right in front of the goal. Man, Kieran O'Brien 3 or 4 times now tonight. Taylor's taken some hard collisions from forwards.
Yeah, he has. I mean, this is going to be, I was going to say the third at least time. I've seen a couple of his defensemen go over and rub his head like, hey, sorry, buddy. Hey, you okay?
Taylor, to your point, it speaks to the urgency that St. Viator's playing with. They are crashing the net, getting after it. Byproduct of that ends up being some nets dislodged. You saw one penalty, wasn't a great penalty down here in the first, but they're getting after the net right now.
They are. I mean, it's almost like a V pointed at the net. They're not working the perimeters. I mean, they are attacking in the net front. And we saw on the power play goal too, Max, Loyola's not doing much to clear the net, to give their goalie a lot of help, right? Like, they're kind of just existing right now. They're not playing the way we normally see them play. Meanwhile, Viator looks fantastic so far this evening.
And generally speaking, Loyola is one of the big teams in the league. You talk about guys like Gabal and Lillybridge and Rhodey, some really big bodies, Albrighton as well. Yeah. Usually known to be the more physical team, and conversely, St. Viator's one of the smaller teams in the league, and right now they're out physicaling the Ramblers.
Absolutely. I mean, Loyola doesn't look disinterested to be here, but they're just existing right now. I'm a little perplexed. I mean, you'd think Loyola comes out of this huge win the other night, try to win tonight and get on to the next round. They don't look like they're taking much urgency at all here.
So we'll see. They've still got some time, only trailing by 2 goals. We've seen the graphic that Jimmy's tossed up a couple of times with the leading point getters, and Loyola's got a ton of offensive power. They're not out of this game by any means, even if St. Viator's able to find a 3rd goal. It's a Loyola team that's got a ton of firepower to come back, but it's got to start with 1. 12:17 left here in the second. Comes to Max Cabal. Ryan Cowan through the middle of the ice. The captain, he shoots. Massaro fights this off, still loose side of the net. Cabal using that big body to clear some space. He'll drop down to Lillybridge. And Grady's keeping it in at the far half boards. Drops to Cowan. Cowan shot off the post. That wrist shot finds more iron. Now Massaro's way out of his net. Following it up Cowan, but it was a stick of a Viator Lion that disrupted Cowan, or we would have had the first Loyola goal of the game. Still pressure on net. Massaro finally takes a whistle, but probably the best offensive shift of the game for Loyola there.
No question. And it's so interesting too, Max, because that opportunity came off the stick of none other than Ryan Cowan, a defenseman. You see him jump up not only into the play, but drive to the net to create the scoring chance. He's a special player. He's the only defenseman in the state of Illinois in the top 20 in point scoring. I mean, talk about, you mentioned the talent a few minutes ago. 3 forwards for Loyola in the top 10. 7 players total Loyola in the top 20, including Ryan Cowan, Taylor, captain defender.
Taylor, one of the things I really liked on that shot from Ryan Cowan is Viator coming back down the other way, centering pass, and cleared out of there by Loyola. But you saw Cowan just wait an extra second. He was waiting for the right window to open, found the window and drew iron. But the patience from the captain for the Loyola Ramblers really showing on the defensive end.
And that's the key, right? He is so patient and poised with, and most importantly, without the puck. I mean, his timing there when he pinched in and snuck to the net, it's unparalleled on this Loyola roster.
Grady weaving his way through the St. Viator defense. Gustafson trying to get a shot off. Comes to Bain. He's going to drop it back to Fritchie. He'll shoot. Blocked out in front by Kneeling. Here's Bain. Gustafson now back to Bain. Backhanded shot from Bain. Big save, Massaro. He got just enough to keep that out of the net. Now a sharp angle shot from Grady is gloved by Massaro with 10:39 left in the second.
It's looked like a continuous power play for Loyola the last few minutes. Maybe they heard us up here in the booth saying that they've been looking lazy and uninspired. I mean, they are taking it to them.
Guys, Massaro's made a few huge saves in the last couple of minutes to keep this thing 2-0. After that penalty kill from Loyola, they really seem to get a lot of energy, a lot of momentum, and they're really pressing it on here.
Wes, we saw Massaro kind of get out of sorts once during that sequence, but other than that, he's been really well positioned, and 3 or 4 of those saves were strictly due to just being in good position. I know, as Wes Anderson always likes to talk about, former goalie, he'll always point those kinds of things out. But good positioning leading to some saves from Massaro.
I think they were listening to us, Max.
They've certainly had some more urgency here in the last couple of minutes. I'm sure there were some choice words down there on the Loyola bench as well. Wes talked about the unhappiness. Here's Sharfstein's shot. It was steered wide by Taylor. Back to the point is Kadlec, and a big check as Hoffman just clears Kadlec out of the way. Now heading back towards the Loyola zone with under 10 minutes to go. Waltman going to head up ice a little bit. Massaro battling, so is Taylor with Kadlec. 4 guys just digging at the puck in the corners. Eventually, Loyola's able to dig it out. There's a pass from Sharfstein. He gives on to Waltman, who loses it as he heads towards the offensive zone. Now Wilson will drop it in deep. Nutley and Massaro. COB a little bit scrambling back to his net, but Boersma's able to clear. Kneeling's going to wrap it around the boards. Touch pass to Boersma. And Boersma able to collect. Top of the circle shot. This pops up into the air. And Massaro knocks it away, but comes off its post down here as well, so we'll get an offensive zone draw for the Ramblers.
St. Viator's Massaro and Loyola's Lillybridge came together, a little collision there, knocked the netting off, giving each other a little hug there. Hey, keep up the good effort. That's some sportsmanship for you as we get a little replay of that huge hit at the blue line in front of the Loyola bench. Max used the word clear. Cleared him out of the way. Yeah, he did.
Oh, it looked like a fullback, right?
I mean, right. Clearing the lane for just
boom. Played some fullback. It looked like a fullback coming through a 24 ISO, and he just cleared Kadlec out of the way. Lowering that shoulder, getting good leverage, clearing the puck. That's the effort we've seen all night tonight from St. Viator, but here's a chance for Boersma. Shot just wide of the near post. I feel like if he could have put that on net, that was probably going to beat Massaro. He was a little bit late seeing it. Here's Kneeling. He'll chip it in deep with 8:50 to go here in the second. Lillybridge not able to get it out. Here's Schaefer. His shot knocked down in front. Backhanded shot. Big save by O'Brien. And we stay at 2-0 as this splits the legs of Kneeling. And icing's waved. It ends up being right on Massaro. Gabal gives Massaro a good snow shower. Offensive zone draw coming for Loyola with 8:34 in the second.
Cabal has some size behind him too. So you saw him give Massaro, you said, a nice little snow shower. That's right. But getting tangled up a little bit with Mueller there behind the plate. Cabal just, I mean, he towers over a lot of the guys in the ice. He's a big boy.
Won by Gustafson. Backhanded shot, pad save. Not a lot on that Bain shot, but Massaro had to get that left pad down quickly, make sure it didn't get by him. Played up the boards. Nutley able to escort it out. And Gustafson in the neutral zone cuts that off and nearly takes out Wes Anderson. Head on a swivel down there.
Guys, I might need my catcher glove down here. There's been a few that have been headed my way. I have to snap the leather, but the Loyola bench is starting to feel it down here, guys. They're a lot more vocal, a lot more energy. They feel like that next shot might be going in.
Yeah, I get the feeling this next goal is going to tell us pretty much which way this game's going to go. If Loyola can find one here, as much as St. Viator has outplayed Loyola to this point, if they can narrow it to 2-1, as this game wears on and the heavy legs of St. Viator sets in and the town of Loyola, I feel like it'd be a really good scenario for them, whereas St. Viator can find that third goal with, after this big pushback from Loyola, can be really crushing to the Ramblers.
No, you're absolutely right. It would be crushing, but Loyola has been attacking in waves.
Here's Harrer trying to play it to the middle of the ice. Albrighton's shin boards.
It's nice for us here in the broadcast booth, too, because all the action's been right in front of us.
No kidding. It's been much easier to call. We do like St. Mount Prospect Ice Arena here. No netting. That's one of the big things. I know always makes Jimmy the Wiz happy. Gets you that feed much cleaner. Without the netting we have at Centennial or Twin Rinks or pretty much all the rinks these days. This is one of the few that doesn't. Here's a big hit in the middle of the ice. Garrett Grady takes Carson Hart out. Garrett Grady, one of the smallest Ramblers, but he is not shy about using his body. Here's Albrighton. He checks a man. They're still tied up in the crease of O'Brien. And that's going to be a penalty. It's going to go against St. Viator, I think. I don't think that's going to be offsetting. I think that will just be a Viator penalty and a Loyola power play with all the momentum we've seen over the last 3 or 4 minutes.
I want to back it up just a second to that open ice hit. Garrett Grady, an old-fashioned step up at the red line. I mean, just true center ice blow up as both came together. Garrett Grady leads the Ramblers in penalty minutes this season. He also has 29 points. So he finds himself on the score sheets frequently, giving a little sandpaper to the Loyola roster, but he is talented too. He puts numbers up on the score sheets for his Ramblers. Just a fun all-around player to have on the ice. So we see it there with a big open ice hit and some points already in the playoffs.
Malinik off the draw. Gets it to Gabal outside the far circle. Bain getting a chance on this power play. Fritchie and Schreiber up top. Fritchie looking. One-timer for Schreiber. Knocked down in front. Looking for the backdoor from Gabal. Across the crease, but no one for Loyola. Schreiber again getting the puck. He'll skate up top. Not exactly in Fritchie's wheelhouse, so he's got to drop it to Bain. Schreiber high slot. Shot right into the midsection of Massaro. And he keeps Loyola off the board.
Loyola doing a good job of getting traffic in front of the net, right? We talked about it. Get pucks on net, create a little havoc in front. They're doing exactly that. We'll see if it yields them a goal.
Wrist shot, I'm sure Schreiber would tell you, like not right in the middle of the net. About a foot off the ice. Probably would have liked to get that closer to a post, about 3 feet off the ice, but we'll look for another chance. Here's Boersma wins it. It's Gustafson. Shot is deflected by Manerick. Cowan up top, shoots, gets a deflection. Grady backdoor shot and kept out, and the goal comes off its posts. And Lillibridge and Carson Hart getting into it a little bit after the play, and Carson Hart just kind of gives Lillibridge the look of like, hey man, what's the point of that? What are you doing? Offensive zone draw to come for Loyola with 1:13 left on this power play. Viator making some changes. 6:13 in the second, still 2-0. 2 first period goals from these Lions, the difference thus far. Wilson's able to get this puck and clear it. That'll leave about a minute left on the man advantage for the Ramblers. Gustafson rink wide to Cowan. He'll throw it in deep. Massaro tries to slow it down. He can't. Boersma battling, gets some support from Grady. Carson Hart loses his stick. Here's Grady in the high slot, winds up. Pass deflected and kept out by Massaro. The deflection from Lillibridge couldn't make it in. Gustafson's side of the net. Lillibridge evaluating his options, goes to Gustafson. Now Grady. Massaro doesn't have a stick. Gustafson now in the slot. A shot from Gustafson and deflected up into the netting. Waiting a ruling. I think we will stay here in the Loyola zone, but now Loyola getting to the point, Taylor, where they just can't get one to go in.
I was going to say, I mean, it's like somebody put a bubble around the net.
I thought that deflection was going in for sure. Then you see a follow-up. The puck is fluttering over the net. Massaro does a nice job to bat it out of the air, but my gosh, I thought that was for sure a goal.
Guys, it's a shooting gallery on this power play for Loyola. All types of opportunities, and Massaro's done a great job seeing that puck and be able to get in front of it.
And he's been very impressive thus far, continuing his incredibly impressive postseason. And while Massaro and Grimaldi are still going back and forth, Massaro continues to build his case. Maybe he should be number one. I'm sure Grimaldi's going to get another chance as the end of this power play comes with several high-quality chances for the Ramblers, but still no goals. Now Gustafson checked as he enters the zone and cleared by St. Viator. Schaefer evaluating. He tries to go far. Stretch pass. Mueller gloves that. He's got a breakaway. He's taken down to the ice. Are we going to get a penalty shot, Taylor?
No, I do not believe we're going to get a penalty shot because Mueller was not in the motion of shooting.
Okay.
But we are definitely going to get a penalty. And what a gorgeous moon pass, right? Throws the sauce all the way up the middle. Mueller does a wonderful job of grabbing it, dropping it right down to his stick before being hampered by two white sweaters dragging him down. You're going to see Tim Benz chatting with the officials now. Are the officials recanting the penalty? It looked like they called one, and now they're not. I don't know what's happening.
Looked like a pretty textbook, probably hooking from what I could tell.
Me too. I mean, Tim Benz is not happy. I don't know. They have to be giving, I would think.
No, we're not going to get a penalty there, Taylor.
Wow. Loyola getting away with one there.
Huge break for the Ramblers. Tim Benz can't believe it. He's still hot with the officiating.
I mean, Mueller was dragged down. That's a penalty even I would have called.
Now 4:28 left here in the second period. Action staying down on Kieran O'Brien after just 2 seconds elapsing on that play. Face off, trying to clear it out as Loyola. Sharfstein was heading up ice. He was trying to fly the far wing so St. Viator's can be able to keep it in the Loyola zone. That was a designed face-off play, it looked like, Taylor. And Loyola's going to be able to get away with it.
Schaefer bit, too, the defender for Viator. He left the zone early.
Puck loose. Follow-up shot from Baker as Sharfstein got it into the slot. But again, right in the middle of the goal. And Massaro is able to keep that out. So that puck take a weird deflection and get on goal. .405 remaining here in the second. Boersma and Hare are going to get the face-off draw opportunity. Boersma wins it clean back to Rohde. Now Rohde to Schreiber. Gets a deflection and Massaro drops his pad on it. It's still loose. And Boersma not happy with the quick whistle.
That whistle's way too soon. That's understandable that he's upset. Schaefer did a nice job there too on Viator to clear Lillibridge out of the area. I mean, he was swarming. Had that whistle not blown, as it should not have, the puck was still very much alive. Lillibridge was right in the wheelhouse to poke it in for a goal. So Schaefer still being smart and heads up, clearing Lillibridge out of the area.
Boersma, another clean win, gets it on to Cowan. Near side half-boards, Cowan is pestered by Kneeling. Eventually Boersma comes in support. Schreiber's trying to get it back to the point, instead drops it down to Lillibridge. Hare has it there. Boersma checks him. O'Neill takes a look up ice. He's able to chip it out just past the stick of Hoffman and all the way back into the Loyola zone of the stick of Rohde. Rohde reverses flow to Cowan. Now Hare in on the forecheck. You see 3 Lions really pressing the issue here, able to force the turnover, get possession. Now Boersma's checked. That's going to be another penalty against St. Viator. Saw Boersma go down, didn't see what caused it.
I did not either. I just saw him fall to the ice like a ton of rocks. I mean, big tree fall hard, but I didn't. I didn't see what got him.
Oh, the camera looks like it just forces over, but from the looks of it, Just looked like him and Hoffman were tied up, and might have been a little bit of an acting job there from the captain for Loyola. And sometimes the captain's got to do what he's got to do to get his team back in the game.
Draws a 2-minute penalty, yeah.
So 0 for 3 thus far is Loyola with the man advantage. We talked about it, Taylor, 19%. I'm sorry, excuse me. Yeah, 19.3% power play for Loyola. Good for third in the SHL.
And with this talent, I mean, they can score. They can score on the power play.
Good play by Bain to get the puck back for Malinek. 2 Loyola sweaters below the goal line. Now near side circle, Schreiber. He skates back up top. He's looking for an angle. Far circle is Gabal. Now Schreiber in the slot. Couldn't quite get it to where he wanted to. And Malinek able to collect below the goal line. Here's Bain. Schreiber again, skates to the middle, shoots, pad save, follow-up shot from Malinek, just wide. Trying to clear it, Fritchie trying to catch up to it. A snow patch snowed it down a little bit, but not enough for Loyola to keep it in with 1:14 left on the power play. Back the other way is Fritchie. Comes in from his defensive spot. Gets help from Grady up the near half boards. Reed Mueller checks him into the boards. Grady comes away with it. He looks, tries to get it back up top, Ryan Cowan. Now Gustafson. Gustafson chips it in. Backdoor looking is Grady, but couldn't get a shot off. Back up top, Cowan. Cowan looking. Gives way to Gustafson, far circle. Below the goal line, Boersma. Across the blue paint, and Grady just gets trucked by the ref. Oh, man. Might have been the best hit we've seen all night, Taylor.
Grady a little slow to get up, too.
Icing's waved. St. Viator bench can't believe it. Benz has been all over this officiating crew. Cowan to Grady, winds up with 18 seconds left on the power play. Boersma drops to Cowan, gets to Gustafson. Now Boersma near circle, shoots off the shoulder of Massaro. Inches away from the goal for Loyola with 6 seconds left on the power play. Here's Gustafson, he shoots, blocked out in front, never got all the way through. And that's the end of the power play, back to full strength and darting into the defensive zone is Manerick. Now Lillibridge and Hart, and we're going to get a penalty out of this. There's just no need. There's no need for what just happened there for St. Viator.
You're going to get your goalie hurt.
Between that, Taylor, and now giving up probably another penalty, there's nothing that egregious there to draw a post-whistle cross-check, and it's absolutely the right call. And you're seeing, I think you mentioned it at the top of the broadcast, Taylor, why St. Viator's, I think you said second most penalties in the league.
452, I think. I have it here in my notes. I'll double check. But yeah, I mean, Loyola has 237 on the season, and they're the second least. That is half of what St. Viator has, and it's going to catch up to the Viator Lions here. It's going to.
I think Ignatius is Ignatius, I keep doing that today. We had them yesterday. St. Viator, I should say, is very fortunate that that's going to be offsetting. I certainly saw a case where that could have only been a penalty against Viator.
I disagree with the officials for putting a rambler in the box there. But you're right. I mean, Loyola got away with one a little bit ago. St. Viator gets lucky here.
So, no man advantage. We'll stay at 5-on-5 here in high school hockey. And that's something we often talk about. We'd love to see change as coincidentals be 4-on-4 the way the NHL does. I think that would create a little bit more excitement, a little bit more open play here at the high school level.
Open play is the key, right? It favors the fast teams, and we have a number of them here in the Scholastic League. It bring a little more excitement. Not that there isn't enough on a nightly basis, but you gotta love it when the ice opens up a little bit.
I think anything at this level that gives a little bit more edge to offense, I'm always partial to. Here's a face-off draw with exactly 1 minute to go. Loyola wins it cleanly. Cowan plays up to Bain. Through the neutral zone comes Schreiber. Just going to shuttle it in on Massaro, who easily keeps it out.
That was a little embellishment there. Massaro pretended to trip Schreiber. Schreiber drops down and slides, hoping to get the eye drawn of an official.
And Manerick immediately turns to the ref and says that's the second time he's done that. Of course, alluding to a penalty he drew earlier in the game. Both these teams, Taylor, looking for every possible advantage.
Be interesting to see who takes the draw for Vida here, but the big guns on the ice for Loyola: Boersma, Cowan, Grady, Gustafson.
Grady with a pass between his legs, but to no one as the Ramblers didn't have a stick ready for it. 38 seconds left here in the period. Here's a follow-up from Hoffman. Giving up a big rebound was O'Brien, but able to clear. But Taylor, coming in the end of this period, Loyola really responded here in the second period thus far. Haven't found a goal, but definitely dominated this period.
Looking like the Loyola we expected to come out tonight, right? I mean, this is the back and forth game I was hoping we'd see. The first period being largely tilted in favor of St. Viator. Loyola.
Now 10 seconds to go. Gustafson, our half-board, gets it up to Cowan. Rohde's calling for it. Cowan shoots. Pissarro saw it the whole way with a glove save.
I was going to say Loyola finding their legs a little bit here now. We got a great game. Great finish to this period.
4.8 left on the clock. Viator going to make some changes here for this final face-off draw. Now, Taylor, one thing I always find interesting, what number do you need on the clock to put a sixth attacker on the ice and pull your goalie in a situation like this?
Well,
3 seconds. Face-off draw. It's won by St. Viator. And that'll be the end of the period. 2-0. We'll get more into that later, but at the end of 2, we'll get into that after the break. It's certainly a discussion I think is worth having, but
I was going to say never.
Really?
Yeah, not with the gravity of this game and this situation. Only down 2 and going into the third period, I would not put a sixth attacker on the ice. Because 3-0 going into the third is a huge difference.
Always a fun thought exercise, but we'll step aside. We're going to take a break here as a 2-0 lead for St. Viator after 2. A dominant first period for the Lions. Loyola pushed back in the second. Couldn't find a goal yet. So we'll go to the break 2-0 and put our mics down, let the ice clean. Come back with third period action in just a couple of minutes right here on your home for SHL Hockey YouTube Live. Welcome back to live third period action here from Mount Prospect Ice Arena, where St. Viator, with their backs against the wall, have a 2-0 lead, with Loyola leading this series 1-0. And for more on how Loyola is going to look to come back here in Game 2 and close out this semifinal here tonight, we're going to send it down to ice level, where our very own Wes Anderson standing by with Loyola head coach Scott Sorello. Wes.
Thanks, Max. Down here with head coach Scott Sorello. Coach, I heard you tell your team you need to gear up going into the second period. What did you like in the second period that you hope to carry over to the third?
We just totally controlled it after about, around the 12-minute mark. We just took control of the game and started playing how I know we can. We just got to see that through for the next 17 minutes.
Seems like you guys match up pretty well. You guys have gone to 3 OTs the 4 times you've played each other. What are you looking forward in this third period?
2 goals.
Plain and simple. Max, back up to you.
Thank you, Wes. I love that answer. Scott Sorello keeps it simple. He's not flashy by any means. He's a very good communicator with his team and is very direct about what he's looking for. And to an extreme there, Wes. Very simple. We need 2 goals, and then we'll take it from there.
Sometimes keeping it simple, Max, is the easiest thing to do, and they put up 25 shots here through two periods, so they're definitely going to look to pepper more on here in the third.
Wes, you nailed it. 25 shots on the net of Mazzaro so far here tonight. He has yet to let one in. A fantastic performance thus far from Michael Mazzaro. He came into this game tonight in the playoffs with a 1.92 goals allowed in 2 games and 94% save percentage. That percentage now well over 95%, as we talked about it. Mazzaro making a statement that he should be the goalie for the rest of the season. We'll see how that plays out, not just here in the third period, but also as St. Viator moves along with very real state championship hopes on the bench of the Lions. Meanwhile, for Loyola, we talked about it in the middle of the second period, how important for the way the schedule goes here over the next couple of weeks, Loyola can find a way to come back here tonight and win this game, not have to play a Game 3 sandwiched between some of the state tournament games. Would be a huge advantage. New Trier already up 1-0 on GBS. They'll play a Game 2 on Tuesday. So if they're able to end that series, just one more advantage for New Trier Green, depending on who makes the SHL final. 17 minutes up on the clock. Kieran O'Brien back to our left with Michael Mazzaro to the right. Hart and Gabal still in the box from that coincidental we had towards the end of the second period. No power play time.
I think we need after the 16-minute mark and a whistle, I think, and then they're out.
So no power play time. But Taylor, we talked between periods. The message from Scott Sorello is simple. We need 2 goals, right? And they've been very close. They've had several posts. They've had several pucks take crazy bounces around the crease. I think they just keep at it.
Great saves.
For absolutely. Mazzaro, got to give him credit. No question about that. But I think on the Loyola bench, the sense we get is they want to keep playing their game. They've played the same way they did in that second period. They feel like they're going to find at least 2 goals.
Yep, keep attacking, right? That's exactly the right mindset. Come out in the third strong, play the way that they're able to play. They have so much talent top to bottom. They just need to find the net.
Here's Grady, touch pass and scores! Just 14 seconds into the period, it's Max Gabal on the back door, and it's 2-1.
So we're 14 seconds into the period, and Loyola finds one. Talk about a huge start for the Ramblers. Oh my.
And it was all set up by Garrett Grady, who pried the puck loose, I should say, went cross ice, and it was Gabal who just reached his stick out, redirected it, and got the first goal of the game for Loyola.
I mean, what a huge start to the period. And they skated right by the entire St. Viator bench celebrating. Saw actually a member of the St. Viator coaching staff up in arms over it a little bit, flagged down one of the officials, and I think the officials probably laughed at him and said, what do you want me to do about it? High school kids celebrating a goal. Go score another one. I don't know.
Here's Patrick Neary. He's just going to throw the puck in behind O'Brien. So we've reached a critical moment, Taylor. We talked about the next goal at that 2-0 mark, how much it means. Loyola gets it. Now St. Viator's really got to lock in here because was Loyola that really controlled that second period, and then to get that first goal just 14 seconds in, couldn't script it much better of a start for the Ramblers.
Nope. It's exactly the start they needed. You know, and there was kind of that impending sense of one coming, right? Especially towards the end of the second.
Gustafson got a secondary assist on that as well, so that's his 6th point of the playoffs in 4 games. For Max Cabal, it's his 2nd goal of the playoffs, and for Garrett Grady, it's his 6th point with 3 goals and now 3 assists for the Ramblers. That catches you up on that. Just to finish the scoring on the other side, it was Reed Mueller and Will Manerick that got the assists on the 2nd power play goal. Here's Gustafson. He shoots, knocked down in front. Point blank for Malnick. He can't get it by Massaro.
That's a bad giveaway in your own zone. A bad, bad giveaway. Viator has to tighten it up. Loyola's going to put another one in. They have to tighten it up because Loyola is attacking.
15:29 left here in the 3rd period. Now behind the goal is Boersma. Tries to drop it to a trailing forward, and Waltman eventually coming away with it is St. Viator. Trying to chip it out, but again, Malnick able to keep it in. Sharfstein rifles it to the corner. But chipped up ice by the Lions. Seeing Will Steele on defense for Loyola get some ice time. Didn't see much of him for the first 2 periods, but here in the 3rd, especially playing back-to-back days, Taylor, they're going to start relying a little bit on their depth. Steele gives to Kadlick. He settles in his own zone, plays a 2-man game with Waltman, but again, a really high forecheck from St. Viator, putting pressure on.
It's the first time we've seen the puck down in this zone since the opening frame of the period. Loyola has had possession of it so far this period, so almost the entire time.
14:42 left here in the 3rd period. An early 3rd period goal for Loyola has us at a 1-goal game after St. Viator got 2 goals in the 1st period, one from Reed Mueller and one from Patrick Neary. A beautiful textbook deflection from Neary on that power play, Taylor. It's exactly how you teach it.
Unobstructed too, right? I mean, nobody was there to move him out of the way. He just set up shop in front of Kieran O'Brien.
St. Viator avoids an icing. And back there the way comes Loyola. They can have a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Ryan Cowan joining the play. Cole Jobert with Bain. Here's Cowan as Bain tries to set a pick. Well, Baker doing the same thing. Back to Cowan at the point. Bounces off his stick back into the neutral zone. So Loyola's going to have to clear. Now stretch pass just past the stick at Taylor. He's back in the defensive zone, and the captain for the Ramblers takes a check but leaves it for Albrighton. Hard off the glass, but Carney knocks it down quickly. Taylor, no sign of those St. Viator defensemen or forwards playing a little bit further back. They are still active up in the play, and we get an icing.
They need to be.
I want to thank our great sponsors here on the SHL Network: CCTY Bearing, Christopher Burke Engineering, Stormy's Tavern and Grill, Glassa, the Great Lakes Adaptive Sports Association, York Hockey, Loyola Hockey, Wintrust Bank, Lake Forest Bank and Trust, a Wintrust Community Bank, Kramer Construction, Brian C. Mueller of Edward Jones Financial Advisory, and Schmidt Goaltending. Thank our great sponsors here on the SHL Network. Didn't mean to cut you off, Taylor. Got to make sure we take care of our sponsors.
They are the reason we were able to bring this to you listening at home, so they come first before the analysis of St. Viator's forecheck.
Of course.
However, they have to keep forechecking, right? Now is not the time to re-examine your defensive scheme. You don't want to sit back and let Loyola come to you. You got to keep bringing it to them right now.
Schreiber's checked off the puck as he entered the zone. One last thing on our sponsors. If you need any information on any of those sponsors, head to scholastichockeyleague.org and find all the links there. Here's a shot from Schreiber. He scores! Will Schreiber from the slot ties the game with 12:51 left in the 3rd. It's 2-2.
Oh, my goodness. And you'll see 5 blue sweaters go over and tap Massaro
A great shot from the middle of the slot, a little high up. And it's a brand new hockey game.
And Taylor, I'm never one to narrow in on this too soon, but the turnover that led to the first goal, that space in the middle of the slot, you can only wonder if those St. Viator legs are starting to drag a little bit. Loyola's finding some openings, and neither of these goals have they been that contested. St. Viator's got to tighten it up and bear down here as Loyola's really pressing.
Yep, no, they absolutely are, and we've seen it since about the midway mark of the second period. And we talked about it too, Max, right? I mean, they almost couldn't buy one, but they had a number of grade A scoring chances, especially coupled with the St. Viator penalties we saw. And it was getting a little tough to sort of shed the cloak of inevitability almost. I mean, Loyola, with the talent they have, attacking in droves.
So getting the assist on that play was Max Cabal, his second point of the evening, and then Anthony Massaro with a bad penalty on the interference. Loyola's got the extra tacker on the ice, but now touched by a St. Viator Lion, and all the momentum right now on the Ramblers side, and they head to the power play.
The wheels are off the bus for Viator. They have to, I mean, if I'm Tim Benz, I call a timeout and gather the troops a little bit here, right? I mean, that's an inexcusable penalty.
I have no idea what Angelo Massaro is doing there. He immediately turns to the referee. Folks, you saw the replay for yourselves. Just a blatant, non-needed interference from Angelo Massaro. I think he might have been frustrated. I think something might have happened a few seconds before, and he took a shot.
Yeah, I think he got hit, and he's trying to finish up and hit a couple of there.
But the penalty itself.
From the puck. I mean, it was away from the puck. It's just a terrible, terrible penalty. And now you're going to give a surging Loyola.
Here's Cowan, he scores! A deflection in the slot, and it's 3-2 Loyola.
Yeah.
I know there was a deflection, Taylor. Can't tell off the live shot if it was a...
Was there? It looked like it snuck in on the near side post. I think a low shot. I mean, it didn't leave the ice.
I think we're going to get a good look at it here. You see, I can't tell if it's...
I think Cowan was able to steal some ice and move in a little bit, go to the high slot and fire one on ice level, and now Tim Benz calls the timeout. I mean, I was just saying, you cannot do something that stupid that gives a surging Rambler team the chance to put another one in. And I couldn't get through the sentence before Loyola did just that. I mean, that is
And Taylor, I won't name the coach, but I've been texting with a few different coaches around the league, and I got a very specific text from one assistant coach who said, and I quote, if Loyola can piss off St. Viator enough, they will get more power plays and tie and win this game. That was during the intermission. I got that exact text message from a SHL coach in the league, and boy, was he correct.
Right, no, without question. And we talked about it early. One of the keys for Viator was staying out of the box. Throughout the season, they have double the number of penalty minutes that this Loyola team does. And this Loyola team is oozing with talent, and they have a great power play. Viator doing everything they can to give this game away.
And Wes is down on the St. Viator bench with these 3 goals here early in the third period. Wes, talk to us what's going down on the bench.
Guys, I was able to listen into the huddle over here. Coach was just saying that they weren't moving their feet, and he was referring back to the last game where they were down 2 goals in a similar position. So they're going to look to draw on that experience, try and come back here again in the third.
And it was Boersma, Taylor, that got credit for the goal, the deflection in the slot off the shot from Cowan, who gets the primary assist, and Grady gets the secondary. So for Grady, his second assist of the evening. And the Stars have come out for Loyola here tonight. 11:43 remaining here in the third.
All of a sudden, this Loyola student section is alive. We weren't hearing them for a little while. Now we sure are.
Now Rhodey takes it at his own face-off dot, goes D to Cowan. He misses a stick. It goes all the way down. Schreiber below the goal line trying to find a centering pass. St. Viator can't believe there was an icing on that. Tim Benz is again riding the officials on that one, specifically that near side linesman. Here comes O'Neill. He shoots, easily gloved by COB.
Loyola riding their top two lines pretty heavy here. We got Gustafson back on the ice, Grady back on the ice after Boersma and Schreiber just got off.
A little bit shorter bench here in the playoffs, Taylor.
Yep.
See the horses a little bit more often. Gabald, Grady 2-on-1. Gabald shot saved by Massaro. He had Grady coming up the slot as well. Vider the other way, but goes straight to Albrighton. Now escorted back out into the neutral zone is Garrett Grady. Gets on to Gustafson. He goes between the legs of Wilson. Then eventually Reed Mueller able to collect for St. Viator, the captain, trying to steady the ship for the St. Viator team. As this gets deflected up into the netting, but look to your leadership. And Wes talked a little bit about the message down on the bench, trying to calm things down for St. Viator. You called it after the second goal that or I should say after that penalty before the third goal, that the wheels were starting to fall off a bit for St. Viator, and 8 seconds into that power play, they're off.
No, I said, I would take a timeout there, come up with a little bit of a game plan for that penalty and just calm everyone down. Then they score so quickly. And if you're a St. Viator hopeful, you're praying that it didn't come too little too late. You're able to find another one. This Viator team can score.
Viator's looking for a power play. I thought there should have been a penalty right in front of their bench. They don't get a call. Kuffel takes it at his own blue line. Down comes Nutley, I should say, excuse me. Manerick near side half boards, easily cleared by Loyola with 10 minutes to go. Now Manerick tries to whack the puck along. Instead he turns it over. Joe Bear couldn't take it. Instead here's Nutley, winds up, and a block shot from Steele. That one took a bite out of him, and then an errant shot as O'Brien's easily able to glove it.
Selfless play there by Loyola Steele. When it matters, right? And a little bit of pain on the bench as a slap shot off the shin. But Max, if you're St. Viator, you can't get frustrated. You have to stay in the game mentally and physically. Don't care how tired your legs are or how annoyed you are with officiating or anything like that. You cannot afford any more penalties. And you got to find what you had in the first period. You got to bring that mojo back a little bit.
Here's Cowan with 9:30 to go. He makes a nice move around Taylor. Now rink wide to Bain. Bain's just going to fire it in deep, make those defensemen for St. Viator go back and work. That's Schaefer that gets the puck. Bain's able to pry it free. Here's Joe Bear. He gets checked. He loses the puck. Away with it comes St. Viator. And Taylor, these shifts with Bain, Baker, and Joe Bear, one of the depth lines here for Loyola, become really important, that they can give some of their top line guys a breather. They've played a lot of hockey.
And if you're Tim Benz, you're watching that and you're throwing your superstars out there whenever they're putting a depth line out.
For now, it looked like St. Viator was matching with their fourth line, so not able to take advantage of it there. Right back out comes Ryan Boersma and Schreiber. Bain heads to the bench, and on comes Lillibridge. So top line back out there for Loyola. Now making a play around one man's Reed Mueller, forcing his way to the front of the net. He runs into O'Brien, and O'Brien might be shaken up. He took another hard hit, Taylor. That's got to be the 5th time he's taken some hard contact. As you know, that can...
Kieran O'Brien's like, I didn't sign up for this.
And you know, goaltender Wes Anderson doesn't like to see goalies get hit that much.
Loyola coaching staff. Wes, are you able to pick up what the Loyola coaching staff is saying to the officials on the sideline? I know we're having a little bit of technical difficulty. It looked like Loyola coaching staff motioning something along the lines of frustration towards Kieran O'Brien continuously being kind of pounded or run into. Then they pointed the way of the St. Viator net, almost as if if you don't start calling it, we'll do the same thing.
Now offside's the call at the blue line, but you know, Wes, You've seen Kieran O'Brien get a ton of contact there in net. Serious collisions happening down in net can really start to rattle a goalie.
As we've seen a few times already, Viator going hard to the net, trying to get this thing tied up. Kieran O'Brien's taking a lot of contact, but each time he's bounced right back up. So expect them to keep going to the net hard here with a little bit more than 8 minutes left.
Yeah, it's been aggressive to the front of the net. St. Viator got a little bit wayward there the first 6 minutes of this period, Taylor, where all 3 goals have been scored by Loyola in about 6 minutes of gameplay, including, I think, those last 2, the second game tying and third go-ahead, maybe only about a minute apart when Loyola took the lead. Coming back to Fritchie at his own blue line, Albrighton. He goes hot pass to Lillybridge, who deflects it along. Gets all the way back deep. Now around the boards is Reed Mueller. Neary trying to find some space. Offsides as Loyola's calling for. I believe it was waived, though. And Loyola's able to play on. Here's Boersma as he delivers a check on Hare. Now Neary has the puck poked off his stick. Trying to transition. That misses the stick of Gustafson and played by Schaefer. Thought he should have let that go, Taylor. Thought that was going to reach far enough for icing. With 7:21 left here in the third period. There's Kadlik. He'll just drop it in deep. And Taylor mentioned it a couple times now, Loyola just wants to make these defensemen go 200 feet, make them earn every inch on the ice. We've seen this entire third period, Loyola just dumping the puck deep and making those defensemen dig it out.
Yeah, they're trying to create a lot of chaos deep inside Viator's own zone. Viator's almost looked a little discombobulated the entirety of this period, especially trying to exit, right? The breakouts have just not been there for St. Viator when they really were clicking in the first period.
Folks, want to make sure you follow us on the various social media, of course, at the SHL Network. We've been posting a lot of content there over the last couple of weeks. So if you're watching us right now on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You get alerts every time there's a new event. We've talked about it. We don't know when the next SHL game of the week will be as of yet. Depends on the schedule, but if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you'll get that alert just as soon as Jimmy creates that event.
Well, and of course, if the score remains, we're going to get Loyola taking on the winner of GBS New Trier.
And that
game 2, I believe, is tomorrow.
Tuesday at Glenview Ice Center.
The brand new Glenview Ice Center, we can add.
That is brand new out there in Glenview. Haven't taken the broadcast there yet. Here's a deflection, still loose in front. And Kieran O'Brien able to glove it with 6:17 left here in the third period.
Amidst a few more whacks and smacks, as if he hasn't seen enough already this evening.
Maybe the most contact, Taylor, I think I've seen on a goaltender so far this season. And, you know, you give St. Viator credit. Maybe we're in desperation mode, and they showed it. They're still showing it. They're still trying to go hard at the net, find that game-tying goal in the last 6:17 here. Here's O'Neill. He tries to chip it towards net, gets the puck back, shoots! Well wide and high of the net. He had some space, but couldn't put it on target. Hare pinned against the boards by Hare. Boersma's digging at it, whacking at it. Hare's got it tied up there.
We got a few more seconds. They'll blow it dead if it doesn't move.
Finally comes free to 26 in white, Ryan Boersma. And turned over, high slot, shot by Hare, fought off by O'Brien. O'Neill circles off the half wall, trying to get it across. So Kneeling wasn't able to. Here's Lillybridge, a 2-on-1 coming for Loyola. Cowan down the slot, gets the puck, shoots, big save, Massaro. You hear the pounding of the boards, much to the delight of the St. Viator faithful. Massaro keeping his team in the game. .5:12 left to go. Rink wide pass comes to Taylor. He chips it along. Now Gabal able to collect as St. Viator was in a change. Able to keep it in, at least for the moment, was Kneeling. Cowan pressuring Nealon. And wrapped around the boards by Grady. Pinching in is Wilson. Keep this rush alive for St. Viator, trying to get to the front of the net, but nobody home for St. Viator. And getting whacked behind the play was Garrett Grady. He's taken a couple of really hard hits here tonight. He's slow coming back up the ice with 4:30 to go.
Garrett Grady's a warrior. Kid's gotten pounded tonight between hits and body checks and slashes. He just always fights off the pain and keeps going. He's a fun player to watch.
Kept in the zone nicely. The shot from Mueller, blocked by Rohde. Goes to the corner. Gabal whiffs on a clearance attempt. And this time he's able to scoop it out. That will go the length of the ice for an icing. I want to thank our sponsors one last time here on the SHL Network. CCTY Bearing, Christopher Burke Engineering, Stormy's Tavern and Grill, Glassa, the Great Lakes Adaptive Sports Association, York Hockey, Loyola Hockey, Wintrust Bank, Lake Forest Bank and Trust, a Wintrust Community Bank, Kramer Construction, Brian C. Mueller of Edward Jones Financial Advisory, and Schmidt Goaltending. Of course, Schmidt Goaltending sponsors the save of the game. Taylor, any particular save stick out to you at this point?
I think we got one coming. That's my guess.
Here's Sharfstein. Sharp angle, forces a shot. Knocked down by Massaro. He couldn't find it. Puck still loose behind the net. Now Sharfstein with the shot. Bad save from Massaro.
And if we don't get that Schmidt goaltending save, then I'm going to have to give it to Kieran O'Brien for the 2-on-1 flash of the pad early in the second period.
That's a good call. Is this puck a whistle that Loyola's bench is furious about? Not exactly sure why. Taylor was looking down at my notes.
And I was watching the play.
It's going to be an offensive zone draw. It had to have been called, I guess, an icing or maybe an intentional offsides. It had to be one of those two. For that face-off draw to come down here right in front of us, in front of Kieran O'Brien. To 3:25 left here. St. Viator needs a goal to force a game 3. For Loyola, they're looking to advance to the SHL final where they'll await the winner of GBS and New Trier. New Trier already up 1-0 off of their 5-2 victory earlier today at North Shore Ice Arena. Trying to dig it free. We'll start to keep an eye down to our left of, or excuse me, down on the other end of the ice, I should say, for Michael Massaro's net. Viator can get some offensive zone possession. You would expect that to come here in the next 30 to 60 seconds. But Loyola's going to keep the pressure on. Fritchie fires it into the Viator zone. Nealing's got to play it for the Lions. Now Albrighton stops it as well.
The moment that clock hits 2, if I'm Viator, I'm pulling my goalie and I'm sending that 6th attacker. And I am sending everybody in full green light attack mode. Throw everything at him but the kitchen sink.
Now Grady behind his net. Hare tries to steer him off. Raiden Mueller with a big hit. Grady goes spinning a 360. Gets it to Hare, top of the circle. Shot, never got all the way through. Now Nealing gets across to Mueller. That's wide of the net. Massaro still in his goal. Some extended possession. And you would think next time Viator's able to get control in the offensive zone, Massaro would leave his net. We'll keep an eye.
I would take him right now.
Fritchie wraps it around the boards and out. Massaro still hanging in his net with 1:50 to go. Knocked down nicely. Oh, I don't know about that, Taylor. That looked like right at shoulder level.
Yeah.
Looked like a really skillful play there.
And Garrett Grady skates over to Wilson. Gives him the high sticking motion. Wow. So that'll back it up in a defensive zone draw for Viator. So Massaro absolutely staying in his net.
Now a discussion on the Viator bench. They already used their timeout, I should say, after that go-ahead goal, so they don't have a chance really to draw anything up here. They're going to have to do it all on field with 1:47 left here in the third. Face-off possession taken by Viator, but they can't get the puck out of the zone. Lillybridge just sends it back down below the goal line. Check in the corner from Boersma. Eventually comes to the stick of Wilson with 1:35. Now Hoffman able to play it out, but again, Loyola able to get the puck. Lillybridge drops it back into the Viator zone.
And Loyola keeping 3 white sweaters perched back on the blue line. So they're playing a trap through the neutral zone a bit.
Keeping everything out in front of them, right? Nobody gets behind you. Keep everything in front of you.
Now Massaro starting to head towards the bench. It's going to be offsides if played. O'Neal back in the neutral zone with 1:10 to go. Goes deep. There goes Massaro. So 6 attackers on the ice for St. Viator. Rhodey clears it up the boards. Back into the neutral zone. It's Manerick with 1 minute to go. Cowan's able to play it back out into the neutral zone against, shipped along by Hoffman. And cleared. Here comes Grady with some space. Shoots. Just misses the far post. Now Gabal in the corner with 45 to go. Manerick coming to dig it out. You see Ryan Boersma.
Leave one. Yep, exactly right. Garrett Grady got out of the zone. Leave one to battle in the boards. Everybody else behind. Clog the neutral zone. I mean, that's a flawless execution there by Loyola
Able
Gold.
to dig it out with 30 seconds to go is St. Viator. O'Neal carries on. Here's a shot for the phone. Scored! Patrick Neary finds the game tire, and it's 3-3 with 24 seconds to go. And the St. Viator student section going absolutely insane.
Oh my gosh. 24.3 on the clock. Neary bats one home off of a rebound in the blue paint. Kieran O'Brien can't believe it. Loyola can't believe it. The 6th attacker, and it was Neary in that case, that came on, scores it. Wow. Max, you got work in the morning, buddy? We might have a couple overtimes.
O'Neal gets the assist on that. As Neary's 2nd goal of the evening. His 3rd point. And for Neary, that is, he's now has 1 more point tonight than he had all playoffs. Talk about showing up big in a big game. That's Patrick Neary right now. 18 seconds to go.
We got some of the big shooters back out. Neary back on the ice. Mueller on the ice. Cowan on the ice. Schreiber on the ice. Boersma on the ice.
And that's going to do it just about for regulation. We're going to head to overtime, which, if you follow the SHL closely, works a little bit different here in the playoffs. So the first OT, we're going to switch ends, so it's going to be the long change for both teams, Taylor. The first OT will be 10 minutes, and will be the NHL 5-on-5 overtime. Should we get to a second overtime, and I guess I'm explaining this to everybody that was in presence of the game yesterday, the teams will switch ends again. Another 10-minute period, and a 3-on-3 action for the second OT, and third and OT and beyond. Same amount of time, they'll switch ends, and it will stay 3-on-3. So this first 10-minute period will be 5-on-5 hockey, Taylor. And
after the 4th OT, then you have to win by 2. So everybody keeps playing.
Don't worry, folks. I do have to give you the disclaimer that Taylor Ramel is joking. You do not have to win by 2. Don't want anybody freaking out at home. We're certainly freaking out here, I can tell you. An absolutely electric environment.
Yeah.
Pretty much every seat taken, lining the boards all the way around. You've got other people from other rinks and teams from other rinks have come over here to see the end of this game. 2 of the top teams in the state, 2 state title contenders, absolutely battling out every moment of this series. And either way, Taylor, I know me and you would be thrilled to see this matchup again down the line.
Oh, without question.
So OT is underway here in the 3rd period. And 15 seconds in, here's Gabal, rink wide to Gustafson. Top of the circle, tries to go around one man. Trying to get a shot off was Grady. Net front presence, trying to force it in front. Massaro guides it aside. Now Nutley steps in front of Gustafson, so he'll be able to clear. This gets all the way behind the goal line. And Taylor, just thinking back to that 3rd period as Manerick's able to step in front of this. He'll take it below the goal line. Rhodey was looking for a hit. He whiffed. It's back to Schaefer. And he loses the puck. Gustafson nearly had a half-ice breakaway. But Schaefer was able to recover. Here's Kneeling. Drop it back down below. Mueller has his stick lifted. Nice play by Ryan Cowan. He goes up to Gabal. Well, Grady's not able to handle the neutral zone. But Taylor started to say, think back to that third period and the range of emotions for St. Viator. They had a crazy couple of minutes there where they lost the lead, really kind of lost their composure in some ways. They were able to steady the ship. They got the timeout called.
I mean, from complete dejection to bliss. I mean,
I know we didn't have a camera at the time on the student section. I wish you folks at home could have seen. There was water being sprayed in the air. There might have been a few beers that were tossed from the St. Viator section over there. I mean,
I think I saw one guy take his shirt off and go running around the stadium.
8:40 to go here in the fourth period, also known as overtime. Face off, won by Loyola, immediately cleared out to center ice.
I don't think anybody at home watching here needs the panic or heart attack, but I would love to see some 3-on-3 overtime action between these two teams. We got 8.5 minutes till it's even a possibility, but I would love to see it.
It was some chaos last night. We'll see what reigns here tonight. Fritchie able to steer this into the corner. Boersma a little bit off balance. Pops out into the slot, but Lingle's able to make sure that gets along the far boards out of danger zone. Here's Schreiber. Schreiber checked off the puck by Schaefer. He's going to ring it around the boards. Now O'Neill with some spaces. Loyola was in a change. Rhodey able to recover, and sandwiching him is Malinek. So Loyola very nearly caught in a change there, the long change here in the first overtime.
One of the prettier toe drags I've seen in quite a while by St. Viator's O'Neill there too.
Bain behind the goal line. Tries to play it on Malinek. Nutley chips it up the boards. Sam Rhodey knocks it down there. Nutley gets on to Massaro. And Eric with some space. He shoots just wide of the far post. Rhodey collects in the corner. He's checked, but he's able to get the puck out to Sharfstein. Now Nutley plays on. Rhodey chips it out. Here's Hart, and he'll just fire it in deep. Nicholas Malinek goes off the boards, tries to find Sharfstein, and it goes right in on Massaro. And we'll get a whistle with 6:52 left in this first OT. An offensive zone draw coming for the Ramblers.
Guys we've seen after that Viator goal, they've got a lot of energy, really controlling the play in the first 3 minutes of this OT. Great response, though, looking here from Loyola, so back up to you.
Yeah, I think that bench was a little bit shocked on the Loyola side, and Brady's taken down. I don't think that's going to draw a penalty here in overtime, Taylor. Gustafson goes around one man. Comes free to near. Here's Gustafson with a nice move. Shoots! He scores! Jack Gustafson with a brilliant move, and the Ramblers are headed to the SHL final.
And who other than Jack Gustafson, the 52-point man on the season, leading point scorer in the Scholastic Hockey League, alternate captain, Illinois All-State team, first team All-SHL, you name it, he's on it. And he walks through two defenders and tucks it lovingly under the blocker of Massaro and sends St. Viator home. Wow.
Gotta give a hat tip there to some brilliant camera work from our crew too, getting an excellent look at that game-winning goal. And elation on the Loyola side, dejection on the St. Viator side. And if you're St. Viator, man, 5 times now they've lost to Loyola. Now the last 2 times in overtime. I think 4 of the 5 games have gone to OT. And just an absolute war between these two talented Scholastic Hockey League rivals.
Season not over for Viator. Still very much alive in the state playoffs. But man, I mean, what a way to lose your 2 SHL playoff games, right? Come back down 3-0, lose in double OT.
come into tonight, game 2, score 2 early ones, set the tone for the entire game. Then Loyola scores 3 in 6 minutes. Under 60 seconds, you score to tie things back up, go to overtime with the momentum, only to be sent home.
So both these teams don't quite know who they'll play for Loyola. They'll play the winner of Naperville North versus Neuqua Valley as their first playoff game Saturday at 12:10 p.m. That is at the Edge in Bensonville. For St. Viator, they're still awaiting. Highland Park and Fenwick are playing tonight. Oh, the winner of that game will play OPRF, and the winner of that game will play St. Viator.
Fenwick is playing
Saturday, February 26th. We're going to send it down to ice level. Wes Anderson standing by with the winning goal scorer and all-stater, Jack Gustafson.
Jack, you guys are down 2 goals going into the third period, able to tie it up. A highlight reel goal from you to end it. Take us through what you saw on that play.
On that play, I just saw a bunch of guys flying at me. I knew I had to do something special. I just made a couple moves, got around a few guys, then just saw the net, so I just decided to put on that.
As the point leader of this team, do you feel like you guys are always in a position to come back and score like you can?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we just have so much talent throughout our lineup. We know we've been down a lot recently, and we've been able to come back, so we just trust and know that we will come back.
All right, go enjoy it with your team. I'm going to go talk to your coach.
We'll leave it down there with Wes. Looks like he's corralled Scott Sorello. Wes, take it away.
Coach, you guys were able to come back. I talked to you before the third period. You said you needed 2 goals. You were able to get 3, and they came back again. Just talk about the resiliency of your team right now.
I'm just really proud of them. I mean, it's a theme all season. They just don't quit, and it's all them. I mean, just really hard work. They just don't quit. Starts with the leadership, but all the way through, we were just buzzing in that third period. It was a great period.
Thanks, Coach. Max, back up to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wes. And you can see just the genuine pride he has in his team, right? Nothing's ever going to go well. You have the best laid plans and battle hits and everything changes, but the pride that Scott Sorello has in the way his team battled, it's awesome to see.
Right, and you heard him talk about leadership too there, right? I mean, the talent from top to bottom is immense, but he knows the guys that wear the letters on his sweaters are there for the reason. And how big were some of those guys tonight? Cowan, Boersma, Gustafson. I mean, these are guys that are leaders. You heard Gustafson there chatting with Wes too, say all I saw were a couple bodies flying at me and I knew I had to do something special. So what does he do? He walks 2 defenders, makes them look silly, walks in and buries one on the weak side. He wins it for his team.
And Taylor, if you're St. Viator, you're looking at yourself like 2 of the most spectacular goals in the state of Illinois this season are the 2 goals that knock us out of the SHL playoffs. You're St. Viator, you got to tip your cap. Great players made unbelievable plays in back-to-back overtimes.
Yep, they sure did. And you can hang your heads high too, right? Because Viator not only hung in this series, but they led today. They came out of the gates flying. They couldn't get it done, but man, did they battle hard. They never stopped.
That will do it for us here from Mount Prospect Ice Arena here tonight. I want to thank our great crew, as we always do. Patrick Loftus on camera doing an outstanding job here tonight. Of course, Jimmy the Wiz Olsen, all the great graphics, replays, all the great sights and sounds. He is the technical man. He is the Wiz, Jimmy the Wiz. Wes Anderson down on ice level, getting us all that great sound. Taylor Ramel to my left. I am Max Anderson. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Stay tuned to the ScholasticHockeyLeague.org, the SHL Network on Instagram, for that next broadcast, which is to be determined. And until then, we bid you good night. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you again soon.